Meet John, an average guy who just walked into a bank to open a simple checking account. He has no idea that the stack of papers he is about to sign will cost him thousands of dollars over the next 5 years. The teller slides a thick contract across the counter. 47 pages of fine print, legal jargon, and hidden clauses. John does not even glance at the text. He just picks up the pen and signs. Page 1 looks harmless. Standard account information, your name, your address, your signature. But buried on page 2 is where the trap begins. A clause that authorizes automatic overdraft protection. Overdraft protection sounds helpful, but it costs $35 every single time you accidentally go negative. Just one cup of coffee that slips past your balance triggers this fee. John does not know this yet. Page 3 introduces the monthly maintenance fee. $25 per month just to keep the account open, unless you maintain a minimum balance of $1,500 at all times. Most people cannot. That is $300 per year just for the privilege of having an account. Over 5 years, that is $1,500 vanishing from John's pocket. And he has not even used the account yet. Page 7 contains the ATM fee clause. Using another bank's ATM costs $5 per transaction. 2 withdrawals per week means $40 a month. John uses whatever ATM is closest because he never checked. Let us calculate that. $40 a month times 12 months is $480 per year. Over 5 years, that is $2,400 in ATM fees alone, for simply grabbing cash from the wrong machine. Page 12 introduces the paper statement fee. Getting your monthly statement mailed to your home costs $2. But John likes having physical records. $2 a month, $24 a year. Small but unnecessary. Page 15 hides the inactivity fee. If you do not use your account for 90 days, the bank charges $15 per month. John travels for work sometimes and forgets about this account for months at a time. 1 year of inactivity costs $180. 3 such periods over 5 years add $540 in total. Money that disappears simply because John did not swipe his card often enough. Page 20 contains the foreign transaction fee. Every purchase made in another currency adds 3% on top. John travels to Mexico for vacation and spends $2,000. An extra $60 appears on his bill. Page 23 reveals the returned deposit fee. If a check you deposit bounces, the bank charges you $40, even though it was not your fault. John's client pays him with a bad check, and John pays the price. Page 26 discusses the stop payment fee. If you need to cancel a check, it costs $35. John accidentally writes a check for the wrong amount and needs to stop it. Another unexpected $35 gone. Page 30 has the wire transfer fee. Sending money to another person costs $25 for domestic and $45 for international. John sends money to his sister abroad twice a year. $90 annually for that privilege. Page 33 hides the excessive withdrawal fee. Many savings accounts limit you to 6 withdrawals per month. After that, each one costs $10. John moves money between accounts frequently. It adds up fast. Page 36 reveals the account closing fee. Yes, closing your own account costs money. $25 to shut it down. John discovers this 5 years later, when he finally switches banks. A final insult added to the bill. John never read the overdraft transfer clause on page 40. If his checking account runs low, money automatically transfers from savings. This costs $10 per transfer. He does it twice a month without realizing it. Page 42 includes the legal dispute clause. If you ever have a problem with the bank, you cannot sue them. You must go to binding arbitration instead, and you pay half the arbitrator's fees. Justice comes with a price tag. Page 44 contains the data sharing agreement. The bank can sell your transaction history to third-party marketing companies. They mine your spending habits and target you with offers. Your privacy is their product. Now let us add everything up. Monthly maintenance fees, ATM charges, overdraft fees, inactivity penalties, statement costs, and wire transfer fees. The grand total over 5 years is astronomical for doing absolutely nothing wrong. The monthly maintenance fee alone, $300 per year times 5 equals $1,500. Just to keep the account open, money that could have been invested or saved for something meaningful. ATM fees over 5 years, $2,400. Inactivity fees, $540. Paper statement fees, $120. Foreign transaction fees, $300. Wire transfer fees, $450. Overdraft fees over 5 years, assuming just 2 incidents per year, $35 each, $350. The stop payment fee twice over 5 years, $70. Account closing fee, $25. The list goes on. The grand total of all these hidden fees over 5 years, approximately $5,855. That is nearly $6,000 that John lost simply because he never read the fine print. Now, imagine a parallel universe where John read every single page before signing. He would have chosen a bank with no monthly fees. He would have opted out of overdraft protection. He would have gone paperless immediately. In that universe, John keeps $1,500 in savings instead of paying monthly fees. He uses only his bank's ATMs, saving $2,400. He sets calendar reminders to avoid inactivity fees. He opts for paperless statements, saving $120. He gets a travel card with no foreign transaction fees, saving $300. He uses digital payment apps instead of wire transfers, saving $450. He maintains a small buffer in his checking account to avoid overdrafts, saving $350. He carefully reviews his checks before writing them to avoid stop payments. And he finds a bank that does not charge to close accounts. In the reading universe, John's 5-year hidden fee total drops to exactly $0. He saves every single penny that the other John lost. The difference between reading and not reading the contract is nearly $6,000. But John was lucky in one sense. He only lost money. Some clauses in bank contracts can actually put you in legal trouble. Page 45 contains the cross-collateralization clause, which links all your accounts together. Cross-collateralization means if you default on one loan, the bank can take money from your completely separate savings account. Your car loan and your mortgage become tied to your checking account without you even realizing it. Page 46 includes the right of set-off clause. This gives the bank permission to take money from any account you hold to cover debts in another. Your joint account with your spouse could be emptied to pay your personal credit card bill. Page 47 contains the most dangerous clause of all, the binding arbitration agreement with a class action waiver. You give up your right to join any group lawsuit against the bank, even if thousands of customers were harmed the same way. John signed all of this in under 3 minutes. The average person spends more time choosing a sandwich for lunch than reading their bank contract. Banks know this. That is why the fine print exists. Studies show that only 1% of bank customers read their entire account agreement. The other 99% simply trust the bank. But a bank is a business. Its goal is to maximize profit, not to protect your wallet. Banks earned over $34 billion in overdraft fees alone in a single year in the United States. That is not a side business. That is a core revenue stream built into the fine print of every contract they offer. The worst part is that most of these fees are completely avoidable. Banks are required by law to disclose all fees up front, but they hide them in legal language that is deliberately confusing and boring to read. The Federal Truth in Lending Act and the Truth in Savings Act require clear disclosure. But the keywords are buried in paragraphs titled things like general terms and conditions or miscellaneous provision. Nobody reads those sections. Here is the single most expensive trap in most bank contracts: the automatic renewal clause. Many accounts automatically upgrade to a premium tier after a promotional period. Your free account suddenly costs $30 a month, and you never agree to it. Another hidden gem is the minimum deposit requirement. Some accounts require a minimum daily balance. If you drop below it even for 1 day, you are charged the monthly fee in full. One bad day costs you an entire month of fees. The deposit hold policy is another hidden trap. Banks can hold your deposited check for up to 7 business days. During that time, if you spend money that has not cleared yet, you get hit with an NSF fee of $35. Some banks charge a dormant account fee after just 6 months of no activity. This is different from the inactivity fee. It applies even if you have money in the account. The bank essentially charges you for ignoring them. The cashier's check fee is another forgotten clause. If you need a certified check from your own bank, it can cost $15 to $25, even though it is your money and your bank. They charge you to print a piece of paper. The replacement card fee is another small but annoying charge. Lose your debit card and need a new one? That costs $5 to $10, even though the card costs the bank pennies to produce. Convenience comes with a hidden price. The statement copy fee catches many people off guard. If you need a copy of an old bank statement for a loan application or tax purposes, that is $5 per page. A 10-page statement history costs you $50. The expedited shipping fee for a new card or checkbook can cost up to $25. Standard delivery takes 7 to 10 business days. If you want it faster, the bank happily charges you a premium for your own belonging. Some bank contracts include an early account closure fee that applies within the first 90 days. Even if the bank service is terrible, closing your account within 3 months costs you $25 to $50. You are trapped. The escapement clause is one of the least known but most dangerous rules. If your account is inactive for 3 to 5 years, the bank is legally required to turn your money over to the state government. Getting it back is a nightmare. Recovering escated funds requires filling out complex forms, providing notarized identification, and waiting months for processing. Meanwhile, the state keeps any interest that your money earned. Your savings shrink while you fight bureaucracy. Banks also hide the order of transaction processing in the fine print. They can process large transactions before small ones on the same day, maximizing the number of overdraft fees. A $50 coffee and a $1,000 rent payment both hit the same day. The daily withdrawal limit is another hidden clause. Most accounts limit you to $300 to $500 per day from an ATM. If you need more cash in an emergency, you are out of luck, unless you pay a fee to raise the limit. The international ATM withdrawal fee is even worse abroad. Using your bank card at a foreign ATM costs a flat fee plus a percentage of the amount withdrawn. John's $500 cash withdrawal in Europe costs him an extra $30 in fees. The currency conversion fee is another hidden charge. When you pay in a foreign currency, the bank uses its own exchange rate, which is always worse than the market rate. That 2% difference adds up on every single transaction abroad. The cash deposit fee at a branch is something most people never expect. Walking into a bank and handing cash to a teller to deposit into your own account can cost $3 to $8. You pay the bank to give them your money. The research fee applies when you ask the bank to investigate an old transaction. If you need them to find a payment from 3 years ago for tax purposes, that costs $25 to $50 per hour of research time. The legal processing fee is a charge for when the bank receives a subpoena or court order regarding your account. Even if you had nothing to do with it, the bank charges you $50 to $150 for processing the legal paperwork. The return mail fee applies when the bank sends you a letter that gets returned to them. They charge you for their own failure to reach you. $5 to $15 per returned letter, even if you moved and updated your address with everyone else. The account reconciliation fee is charged when you ask the bank to help you balance your account. If you cannot figure out why your numbers do not match, the bank charges $20 to $40 per hour to sort it out for you. The micro deposit verification fee is a sneaky one. When you link a new account, banks send 2 tiny deposits to verify ownership. Some charge a fee for this verification process, even though it is automated and costs them nothing. The bill pay fee surprises many customers. Some banks charge a monthly fee just for using their online bill payment service. $2 to $5 per month for the convenience of paying your bills automatically through their platform. The mobile deposit fee is another modern trap. Depositing a check through your phone app seems free, but some banks charge a fee after a certain number of mobile deposits per month. Go over the limit and each check costs $1 or $2. The reward program fee is hidden in premium accounts. That cashback rewards credit card or points program you signed up for? It has an annual fee, hidden on page 38 of the agreement. $100 to $500 per year. The late payment grace period. Elimination clause is a nasty one. Many contracts state that after one late payment, your grace period disappears permanently. You lose the standard 21-day window to pay without interest. Forever. The universal default clause is terrifying. It allows the bank to raise your interest rate if you are late on any payment, even to a completely different company. A late electricity bill can cause your credit card interest to double overnight. The balance computation method is hidden deep in the contract. Banks can use the daily balance method or the average daily balance method. The difference can cost you hundreds in interest per year. Most customers never check which method applies. The minimum finance charge clause ensures that even if you owe very little interest, you still pay a minimum amount, typically 50 cents to $2. Small enough to ignore, large enough to generate millions for the bank across all customers. The promotional APR expiration clause is critical. That 0% introductory rate you signed up for. The fine print says it expires the moment you are 1 day late on any payment. Your 0% jumps to 29% instantly. The cash advance fee is one of the highest. Need cash from your credit card? That costs either $10 or 5% of the amount, whichever is greater. And interest starts immediately with no grace period. A $200 cash advance costs $50. The balance transfer fee is another expensive trap. Transferring your debt to a new card with a lower rate sounds smart, but the fee is typically 3 to 5% of the transferred amount. A $10,000 transfer costs $500 upfront. The returned payment fee applies when a payment you made to the credit card is reversed by your bank. Even if it was a bank error, you get charged. The credit card company adds $30 to $40 on top of the embarrassment. The overlimit fee applies if your credit card balance exceeds your credit limit, even by a single dollar. The fee is up to $35. And some banks also raise your interest rate to the penalty APR as a bonus punishment. The payoff, quote, fee is charged when you want to know the exact amount needed to pay off a loan. Even though you are trying to give them money, they charge $15 to $30 just to tell you the number. The annual percentage yield calculation trick is hidden in savings accounts. Banks advertise a high APY, but the fine print says it only applies to balances above a certain threshold. Your first $500 earns 0.01%. The official check fee is another hidden cost. Need a cashier's check to buy a house or a car? Your own bank charges $10 to $20 for printing a piece of paper that guarantees funds that are already yours. The safe deposit box fee is pure profit for banks. Renting a small box for your valuables costs $50 to $200 per year. And if you forget to pay the fee, the bank drills open your box and keeps the contents. The account transfer fee between your own accounts seems outrageous. Moving money from your checking to your savings within the same bank can cost $1 to $3 if done over the phone or with a teller. The statement retrieval fee from microfilm archives is forgotten, but real. If you need a statement from more than 7 years ago, the bank stores it on microfilm. Retrieving and copying it costs $25 to $100. The joint account holder liability clause means you are responsible for the other person's actions. If your spouse or business partner overdraws the account, you pay the fees, even if you had nothing to do with the transaction. The business day definition trick costs you money. Banks define a business day, ending at 2 or 3 p.m. A deposit made at 3:30 p.m. is processed the next day. That 1-day delay can trigger overdraft fees on pending transactions. The hold harmless clause protects the bank from any liability. If their system makes an error that costs you money, you cannot sue them. They refund only the fee, not the actual financial damage their mistake caused you. The notice of change clause allows the bank to modify your contract with just 30 days notice. They bury this notification in the monthly statement you never read. Your fee structure can change without you ever knowing. The force majeure clause protects the bank if their systems go down. If you cannot access your money during a technical failure, the bank has no obligation to refund any fees or losses you incur. Their problem becomes your expense. The indemnification clause means you agree to cover the bank's legal costs if they are sued because of your account activity. Even if you did nothing wrong, fighting the case costs you thousands in legal fees. The severability clause seems boring, but matters. It says that if one clause is found illegal, the rest of the contract still stands. Even if a court rules the overdraft fee illegal, all other hidden fees remain perfectly valid. The governing law clause determines which state's laws apply to your contract. If you live in California, but the bank is headquartered in Delaware, Delaware law governs. Different states have different consumer protections. The waiver of jury trial clause means you give up your constitutional right to a jury. If you ever take the bank to court, a judge decides your case alone. Studies show judges rule in favor of banks over 80% of the time. The time limit to sue clause is extremely short in most bank contracts. You have only 1 to 2 years from the date of the incident to take legal action. After that, you lose your right to sue forever, no matter how serious. The attorney fee clause determines who pays if there is a legal dispute. Many contracts state that even if you win, you pay your own legal fees. But if the bank wins, you pay their fees too. Lose-lose situation for the customer. The consent to electronic communication clause seems harmless, but it means the bank can send all legal notices by email. If your email goes to spam or you miss one message, you lose the chance to respond to important legal actions. The credit report authorization clause gives the bank permission to check your credit anytime, even after you open the account. Each credit check can slightly lower your score. The bank does this annually without telling you. The cross-selling authorization clause allows the bank to share your information with its partners. Insurance companies, investment firms, and mortgage lenders get your data. You receive endless marketing calls and offers you never asked for. The minimum balance trap on student accounts catches thousands. Banks advertise free student checking, but the fine print says it is only free until you graduate. After that, it converts to a premium account with $25 monthly fees. The courtesy pay fee is another overdraft trap. Banks let you overdraw by a small amount as a courtesy, but then charge $35 per incident. Even if you overdraw by just $1, the fee is the same. The bank profits from your smallest mistakes. The transaction posting order trick costs you more. Banks process larger transactions first, not in chronological order. That big mortgage payment hits first, draining your account. Then all the small coffee purchases trigger overdraft fees. The early account closure penalty exists even on free accounts. If you close your account within 90 days of opening it, the bank charges a $25 to $50 penalty. They lose the revenue they expected from your fees. The dormant account fee is even worse than inactivity fees. If you do not use your account for 3 to 5 years, the bank declares it dormant. They charge monthly fees until your balance hits zero, then they keep the remaining money. The returned mail fee applies when mail sent to you bounces back. If you move and forget to update your address, each piece of returned mail costs $5. The bank also freezes your account until they verify your location. The legal document processing fee appears when the bank receives a court order about your account. If you are divorced or sued, the bank charges $50 to $150 just to process the legal papers served to them. The overdraft protection transfer fee from a linked credit card is the most expensive. If you opt for credit card overdraft protection, each transfer costs $10 plus immediate interest on the cash advance at 25% APR. The cash deposit fee at some banks charges you for depositing actual cash. If you are a small business owner depositing daily cash earnings, the bank takes a percentage. You pay money to give them money. It defies logic. The benefit of reading the contract is not just avoiding fees. You also discover the benefits the bank must legally provide, but hopes you never claim. Free notary services, free cashier checks, and fee waivers that you can request. The Regulation E error resolution rights are buried in the fine print. If the bank makes a mistake, you have 60 days to report it. After that, you have no recourse. Most people miss this window because they never read the statement. The fee waiver negotiation clause does not exist in writing, but it exists in practice. Banks have the discretion to waive fees. If you call and ask nicely, they often reverse charges. But you have to know which fees to ask about. The Reg D savings withdrawal limit is another hidden trap. Federal law limits savings withdrawals to 6 per month. Exceed it, and the bank charges a fee and converts your savings to checking, losing your higher interest rate. The escapement law is the final trap. If your account is inactive for 3 to 5 years, the bank is required to turn your money over to the state. Getting it back requires filing paperwork with the government. Now imagine John with knowledge. Before signing, he asks the bank representative specific questions about each fee. He crosses out unacceptable clauses. Many banks allow you to negotiate contract terms if you ask before signing. He requests a fee schedule summary in plain language. Federal law requires banks to provide this if asked. Most people do not know they can demand this document. It lists every possible charge in simple terms. John opts for a credit union instead of a big bank. Credit unions are nonprofit and typically charge 0 monthly fees, lower overdraft fees, and higher savings rates. The same services cost a fraction of the price. He signs up for mobile alerts that notify him of every transaction. He sets low balance warnings at $100. He checks his account weekly instead of monthly. Small habits that prevent big fees. He reads the annual privacy notice when it arrives. Most people throw it away, but it contains your right to opt out of data sharing. By returning a simple form, John stops his information from being sold. The knowledge John gained from reading one contract saves him money for the rest of his life. He applies the same scrutiny to credit cards, mortgages, insurance policies, and investment accounts. The compound savings are enormous. This is the real cost of not reading. It is not just the $5,855 in bank fees. It is a lifetime of overpaying for everything because you never learn to question the fine print. The average American wastes $800 per year on hidden bank fees alone. Multiplied by a 40-year adult life, that is $32,000. Enough for a down payment on a house or a child's college education. Here is the ultimate irony. Bank contracts are designed to be confusing, so you do not read them. But the more you understand them, the more power you have. Knowledge is literally money in this industry. Next time you sit in that bank chair and they slide a contract across the desk, remember John. Take the extra 30 minutes to read every page. It might be the most profitable half hour of your entire life. Subscribe and hit the bell icon to never miss the hidden fees and tricks that cost you thousands. Your wallet will thank you. The fine print is only dangerous when you leave it unread.